versus Wolves yesterday, and not just the win, a convincing win, and we haven't had many of those this season. While we don't talk about the first half, the second half was some of the best football we've seen Manchester United play, and yes, we're playing Wolves. Yes, Wolves are unbelievably bad, but you cannot deny the fact that even though Wolves are bad, because Grimsby are a worse team than Wolves when on paper, let's be honest, the football we played in that second half was very, very good. There were some very good direct attacks, and even Ruben Amorim spoke about that. And Ruben Amorim spoke about, maybe he needs to change some things. And Man United fans are getting excited because they're thinking, has Ruben Amorim seen something in this last game? Is he ready to change his formation? What has Ruben Amorim said about changing more? Aiden Heaven did well. Sesko should be back from injury. Mainoo was told to leave by Paul Scholes. January plans revealed. Elliot Anderson, the number one target. And Garnacho was speaking about his Man United exit. So, hello, and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to your 10-minute roundup video where I'm going to round up all the latest Manchester United news into 10 minutes for you guys. If you do enjoy today's video, feel free to hit that like button, and you're welcome to subscribe if you're new. I wanted to start by giving Aiden Heaven a bit of credit because I think he's going under the radar, and I saw this tweet from Frank, which I agree with. I think Aiden Heaven deserves huge props, by the way. Effectively thrown into the deep end to cover De Ligt's injury in a position he's not really used to, but he's done well. No noise about limited minutes, just eager to show the best version of himself when given a chance. Aiden Heaven is a left centre-back being thrown in a central centre-back in a very difficult role for United. He picked up a yellow card last game, but I don't think he had a bad game. It was like, oh, he could get sent off, let's keep him. And I think he had a very good game. Yes, he wasn't tested loads versus Wolves, but he did what he needed to do. And I think when he's not played loads, when he's playing in a new role, a new position that he's never played before, he did quite well stepping in for Matthijs de Ligt. So I think Aiden Heaven deserves credit for that. Let's talk about Benjamin Sesko. The one thing I was most disappointed with yesterday is the fact that we just didn't have Benjamin Sesko on the pitch, because I think with the space that Wolves gave us, with how direct we were attacking, that game 100% would have suited Benjamin Sesko to a T. 100% would have suited Benjamin Sesko to a T. That would have been a game where I could have seen him getting minutes, getting goals to get his confidence up, and it's a shame he's injured. But he should be back soon. Benjamin is feeling very well. His rehabilitation is progressing according to plan. It's hard to say precisely when he'll return. That will be up to the medical staff and manager, but I think he'll be back on the pitch very soon. Maybe sooner than expected. Sully then added, Sesko has returned to individual class training and is doing on grass ball work with coach as he steps up recovery. 22-year-old is making positive progress. There was rumours a few weeks ago he should be back for Bournemouth, although we don't know if he's going to be back for Bournemouth, but his recovery is going well. He's training on the grass. He's expected to be back relatively soon for Manchester United. Maybe he's on the bench versus Bournemouth, but he's expected back in the next week or two, and that will be really nice. But it's such a shame he wasn't available for that Wolves game, because I just think with the amount of XG and space we got and chances we were creating, it would have suited him well. Now, one thing we saw versus Wolves is that when we were playing more of a direct style of football, where we had space, we're lethal. We're really good on the transition. And that's why I think we're so much better when we have less possession in games. And I think Ruben Amorim is starting to notice that. And could Ruben Amorim be making the changes that Man United fans want to see? Amorim, we need to improve the way we play. I think we need to find a different way to play sometimes. So we're thinking about that and working on that. Finally, Ruben Amorim has acknowledged we need to find a different way to play. We are working on that. Ruben Amorim has finally admitted it's time to change. It's time to change the system. It's time to change the ways we do things. I think we need to find a different way to play. And we're thinking about that and we're working on that. And we saw elements of that today. Ruben Amorim has been so stubborn. He did the long ball approach, which did work in certain game states, that it's driven me and a lot of Man United fans crazy. But he's now coming out for the first time saying, we need to improve how we play. We need to find a different way to play. We're thinking about that. We're working on that. And remember, I did a video about 2-3 weeks ago where Jason Wilcox had asked Amorim about potentially moving towards more of a 4 at the back, a 4-2-3-1, just because it suits the players that we have in the squad more, and potential changes. And Amorim said that he would change formation when he felt it was the right time to do that, and that there was a feeling that Amorim had actually been working on a few things, including formation changing ideas in training. And it has been said now by Amorim that he would change formation when he feels it's the right time. Could this be the right time to see the 4-2-3-1 with Bruno at 10? Because Bruno was unbelievable yesterday. He's wasted so much when he plays deep. For me, I think Bruno in the 10. Now, the problem is AFCON is coming up. And if you play a 4-2-3-1, realistically, the out-and-out wingers in the team is Amad and Mbeumo. Amad left wing and Mbeumo right wing, Sesko up top, Cunha up top. Cunha's not an out-and-out left winger, he's a left 10. So that's the only problem. We don't have a left winger. I mean, you have Shea Lacey that can go on the right, Cunha could go on the left, Sesko can go up top. I don't know if it suits him, Bruno in the 10. I even think Mason Mount's done really well, but Mason Mount could play in a deeper role next to Casemiro behind Bruno, or Mainoo could play next to Casemiro behind Bruno. I don't know. I'm not saying to do this because it's difficult with AFCON, maybe Shea Lacey at right wing, but it's nice to see Ruben Amorim actually saying maybe it's time to change. We need to change. Mainoo has been told to leave Manchester United. Paul Scholes on Mainoo. If he ran me up and said, look, I think Chelsea are in for me, what do I do? I say effing all day long. No, don't go to Chelsea, Mainoo. Don't listen to Paul Scholes. Look, Mainoo, if he has an opportunity to leave the club to a club that's going to give him guaranteed minutes, he should go absolutely. Chelsea, no. Chelsea aren't going to give him guaranteed minutes. They've got Santos, they've got Lavia, they've got Sugo, they've got Enzo, they've got Caicedo, they've got Reece James that can play in midfield. You ain't going to get minutes at Chelsea. Napoli, yes. Newcastle, I think he could get good minutes at. Potentially Tottenham, but I don't know. But look, Paul Scholes is saying, if Mainoo rang me, I'd tell him to leave. I like Paul Scholes as a player, as a pundit, no. I like that he's very protective of Mainoo, but this isn't the kind of stuff you should be putting publicly out as an ex-Man United player. This is the kind of stuff I think you should zip it on, because it can just cause issues. You're just telling Mainoo to leave publicly. I just don't think it's good. He's a young player, don't try and get in his head. Andy Mitten. So let's talk about our January transfer plans. I'd be surprised if there's movement in January, but I wouldn't be stunned. But the types of players that United are going for are exceptionally good, and their clubs do not want to see them. The clubs do not want to sell them in January. What we know about Man United's January transfer window, what we know about Man United's January transfer plans, is generally kind of that Man United want these players, and these are the players Man United want. But all of these players that we want, we think we can only get in the summer. So we don't want to spend money in January to get a short-term option that could take up the budget, set us back. We want these guys in summer. Man United need to see if they can get any of their summer targets in January. That's what we need to do. Now, we know that the number one is Elliot Anderson. And he mentioned that a few weeks ago, it's Elliot Anderson. But Manchester City want him too. Sorry, I just backed cough there. And apparently Man City's where he wants to go. I would be breaking the bank. I would be doing everything for Elliot Anderson this summer. There is a feeling deep down he would choose Man City over Man United. I think if we get Champions League football, we have a chance. But yeah, without Champions League football, I'm not confident. Chris Wheeler said, if Man United go in the transfer market in January, it will be to accelerate a deal they'd planned in the summer rather than make panic buys. I think if Mainoo goes out on loan, maybe we loan in Conor Gallagher. As a panic buy, that's a loan. It's not really a buy. I think there could be a loan, but I think it is. We probably do all our business in the summer. I'd love us to do some business in January. I'd love us to go for Semenyo or for Wharton or Anderson or someone that we want in January. But I think as well with the one game a week, we don't need insane depth. So United also we don't really need Semenyo until, I mean, we could do it in this season, but we don't really need him until next season when we're in Europe and have 2 games a week and we need to rotate that position more. There's those little things. So I think United are just we're not going to panic. We're not going to rush into things. Amorim did say after the Wolves game that he thinks we lost many points this season because of details and because sometimes the intensity was not there. I think we lost many points this season because of Amorim's tactics, because of Amorim's tactical details, but I will give Amorim that when the players don't show up with the right intensity, we don't play as well. So I think it's a bit of both Amorim and players to why we've dropped points this season and not taking chances, lack of intensity from players, but Amorim's tactics have been poor. And last but not least, Garnacho was asked if he regrets leaving United, and he said no. It was also he had regrets about the way things ended at United when he was basically a prick on national TV and acted like a baby, and he said no. And, I got no regrets. I don't care. He's out of here. He can act like a child if he wants. Anyway, don't really care about Garnacho anymore. Thank you for watching. See you next time. Bye. Bye.